As the film begins, we are introduced to an overweight girl named Simi. She has come to visit her Aunt Claudia to celebrate Easter. Claudia lives in a remote, isolated area. Claudia is a nutritionist and has written several books on healthy eating. Her books focus on what people should and shouldn't eat, offering advice on how to take care of one's health through diet. Simi meets her aunt, and when she asks about the reason for her visit, Simi replies, "I never get to see you. So I wanted to visit," she adds. Claudia then asks, "How many days are you staying?" Simi says, "For 1 week," but Claudia responds, "No, you can't stay that long. Please return before Easter." Simi is surprised by this, and Claudia explains, "We prefer to celebrate Easter alone." While leaving, she says to Simi, "You can stay in my son's room." After it, Simi calls her mom because she has some other purpose and was shy to tell. She was overweight and came to her aunt to learn things to look beautiful like an ordinary girl. At night, we are introduced to Claudia's son, Philippe, at dinner. Philippe's dad died, after which Claudia married another man who lives with them. Simi notices at dinner that Claudia's husband doesn't like her son, Philippe. Claudia brings food for Philippe with love and gives him meat in small pieces to eat. Simi notices that only she and Philippe are eating at the table, while Claudia and her husband are just sitting. That same night, Simi is worried about her weight, and as we know, losing weight was the main reason she came. Philippe behaves rudely towards Simi in the room because he doesn't want her there. Meanwhile, Claudia comes, gives her son a kiss, and leaves after checking his phone. The next morning, Simi goes to the forest for a walk, and there she saw a hut. There was a bag in it. She didn't pay attention to it and returned home. She returns after a shower and sees Claudia's husband doing exercise. Simi was surprised to see him so fit even at this age, but he looked like a young boy. Simi goes to a room and sees her aunt placing her things in the cupboard. Claudia finds her book among Simi's belongings, and seeing it makes her happy. She asks, "Did you read this book?" Simi says, "Yes, I read all your books." Simi sees Claudia and her husband worried in the evening because Philippe went somewhere. They call the police and then they leave to find him. Soon they find Philippe from the nearby forest, and Claudia was happy to see her son that they found him soon. Claudia asks Simi at night, "I can help you if you want to lose weight." Claudia cooks yummy food at dinner, but she was just serving it to Philippe. She says to Simi, "If you want to lose weight, then you have to eat nothing for the next 4 days." Simi was surprised to hear this because she wasn't ready for all this. She didn't expect Claudia to stop her from eating so soon. She also notices that Philippe always seems scared. When Simi goes to throw away the leftover food, she's tempted to taste it, but she controls herself. Claudia also checks her weight before sleeping. She says to Simi, "I will check your weight daily and you have to follow me, otherwise you can never become a pretty girl." Simi promises her aunt that she will listen to her, and Claudia also becomes happy to hear this. After this, Simi went to the bed at night and sees a dead rat, which scared her and called Claudia. She cleans the rat, but Simi doesn't want to sleep on that bed because she was scared and felt that Philippe had done it, as she always saw a knife in his hand, and that rat's head was also cut, so she decides to sleep on the sofa outside. When she was taking her bed, she meets Claudia's husband, who says, "Why you want to lose your weight? You look good as you are," but Simi doesn't like all this from Claudia's husband. She ignores him and leaves from there. Well, 3 days passed like this, and she hadn't eaten anything for past 2 days when she sees Philip having breakfast. She also wants to, but was compelled. She promised her to eat nothing. And then Claudia calls Simi to a room because she found a chocolate wrapper from her bag. She says to Simi in anger that you broke our rules while I wanted to help you lose your weight. But Simi says no. "I didn't eat anything. This must be placed by Philip." Claudia says, "Okay, I am giving you a chance, but I will not forgive you for another mistake, and also will not help you." After it, Simi sees that Philippe gets injured and Claudia was giving him steam. It seemed as if someone has hit his eye. When she asks, Claudia tells that he just fell from stairs and that's it. Simi feels that maybe Claudia's husband beat Philippe, and he also remains silent. That's why she can't ask him anything. At night, only Philippe had dinner and Simi was just looking at him. She was forbidden to eat. And Claudia gives Simi an amulet at that night. She makes her wear it and says, "Kiss this amulet whenever you feel hungry, and then you will never get hungry." After the rat incident, Simi never went to the bed to sleep. She used to sleep on the sofa. She was getting ready to sleep, but Claudia says, "Today I have some tasks, so you sleep in your room." Claudia was writing a book and Simi asks, "Can I see your book?" Claudia says, "No, not yet. It contains strange things which normal human can't understand." Maybe that was the reason that Claudia's book stopped selling. We'll find out later in the story what Claudia wrote in the book. Well, Simi comes to her room and can't sleep because of hunger. She goes and looks for food in the fridge, but it was empty. Meanwhile, Claudia's husband comes, who misbehaves with Simi. She has a knife in her hand with which she injures him, but then she wakes up. That means it was just her dream. When she wakes up and opens the fridge, there was everything. And it was morning too. Philip eats alone, as always, while Simi thinks to herself, "I want to lose weight, that's why I don't eat," but she wonders, what's the secret behind Claudia and her husband? Why do they never seem to feel hungry? They never eat in front of her. It has been 5 days that Simi didn't eat. Today, Claudia's husband was going to hunt and she asks him to take Philippe with him. Simi sees them and asks, "Can I join you?" Claudia's husband was ready to take the kids for hunting. Now they leave for hunting. Philippe is not good at it, but even then, he hunts a rabbit. When he goes near to check, that rabbit was still alive and suffering. Claudia's husband gives Philippe a knife and asks him to kill it so that the rabbit won't suffer more. Philippe gets scared and looks panicky. Meanwhile, Simi comes to him and kills that rabbit. Reaching home, she asks Philippe, "Why are you always scared? Did your dad beat you?" Philippe says, "No, I am not scared of my dad, but my mom, because she is trying to harm me." Simi says, "No, you are thinking wrong. Your mom is a good lady, and why would she harm you?" Philippe says she just pretends to be nice. Hearing all this, Simi goes to Claudia and asks, "Why Philippe thinks wrong about you?" Claudia starts weeping after hearing this. She tells Simi that her son is not mentally fine. He often escapes from the house. Now the police don't even help us to find him because he ran from the house many times. That's the reason he hates me. Hearing all this, Simi encourages Claudia and goes back to the room to sleep. Meanwhile, Claudia comes, who come to say goodnight to Philippe like always. When she left, Philippe says to Simi, "Look, she hates me and one day she will kill me." Well, Simi ignores him because she feels that he is insane and talk nonsense. In the morning, Simi sees Claudia burying something, and when she checks, she found a doll with Philippe's pic. Simi gets shocked to see this and tells her mom everything while calling her. Her mom says Claudia do believe in black magic, but she can't harm anyone. Meanwhile, Claudia comes from behind and Simi disconnects the call. Simi was having strange thoughts. That's why she wants to see the book Claudia was writing. She gets scared when she sees the book. It contains dark magic and disturbing haunted content. It even describes how they use their own children in rituals involving magic and consumption. Seeing all this, Simi's condition gets worse and she wants to leave now. Then one day she sees Claudia beating Philippe while serving him food. Simi was feeling weird and she don't want to stay here even for a minute. She now makes a plan and tells Philippe that I have stolen the gate's key. Philippe says we will escape from this house at 6 in the morning, and saying this, Simi went to sleep. When she wakes up, it was 8 and Philippe was also not there. The house gate was also open. She thinks that Philippe escaped alone. Meanwhile, Claudia's husband comes and says, "Do you want to go back home?" She says, "Yes, I do not want to stay here." He replies, "Pack your stuff and I will get you back to your mom." Simi texts Philippe for the last time before leaving the house that, where is he? Philippe sends her his finger. It seems like he is teasing her. Simi becomes furious to see this and feels that Philippe was crazy. She believed that Claudia told truth about Philippe, so she changes her decision and goes to Claudia. She decides to stay here till Easter. Claudia was happy that Simi obeyed her. She is hungry for the past few days. Now it was Easter day. Claudia and her husband prepared to eat food as they arranged a table outside their house. They also light a few candles, and Claudia brings meat which Claudia, her husband, and Simi eat. Simi has eaten after a couple of days. That's why she feels this food is tasty after dinner. Simi went to sleep but couldn't sleep, and saw under the bed where she found Philippe's knife. He always kept it with him. She feels weird and again sees the picture he shared. She zooms the picture and it was the farmhouse's picture where there was a hammer too. Simi has seen all this already, that's why she thinks that Philippe is hiding in the farmhouse. When she goes there and calls Philippe, she found Philippe as her suspicion was right, but he was dead. Half of his body was cut. The meat they ate in the dinner was of Philippe's. Seeing this, Simi can't handle herself and goes crazy. Meanwhile, Claudia's husband comes. He handles her and says, "This is not a big deal. Let me drop you at your home soon. You will forget everything." That means he was also with Claudia. Then Simi injures Claudia's husband with the knife she had and runs from there. He runs after her with his gun and says to Claudia, "Look, she is running." Simi was running towards the forest while weeping. Claudia also came behind her. She wants to make her understand, but Simi reached the hut we saw at the beginning. The bag she saw, there was gasoline in it, and Claudia wants to kill Simi while trapping her. Simi cleverly sprinkles that oil on her and sets her on fire. Then she somehow runs to her car where Claudia's husband was suffering. He asks Simi to kill him while giving her a gun, but Simi didn't because she wants him to suffer. They deserve this. It is told at the end of this story that Claudia used to worship devilish powers. She was from a cult in which there was a ritual to eat their own kids. Claudia believed her son would become immortal, as he was now a part of their bodies. From this story, we learn that Claudia truly believed in all of it, and belief can drive people to do unimaginable things. However, evil deeds often lead to tragic ends, as we see with Claudia and her husband. Here, this story concludes.